Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. No, this is not rage bait, and no, it did not arrive in a glamorous red PR package. I purchased this myself, and today we are talking all about the newly launched Louis Vuitton Beauty. After my last preview video, I was sat square on the fence. I honestly was torn. It could have gone either way. It's fair to say this launch has taken on a life of its own. There are so many people weighing in who might not really have any interest in the luxury beauty space. After I posted my preview video, there was a reporter from USA Today who reached out to me to interview me for a story. I've seen so many viral videos. A lot of people are talking about Louis Vuitton Beauty. We're gonna unbox, swatch, I'm gonna demonstrate, and of course, I'm going to give you my honest thoughts. Along with my purchase, inside my package, they included a little sample box of the lipsticks. It says LV Rouge Louis Vuitton. You open it up, and you get 4 different shades in the shape of the Louis Vuitton monogram flower. This is a very nice touch. Let's not pretend this is a selling point that offsets the outrageous cost, but it is nice. So I will be able to share 5 different shades of lipstick with you. Okay, this is a game changer. Okay, here we go. Now it's making sense. We have 2 orange envelopes here. This is the cover for the eyeshadow palette. Ooh. Oh. Okay, so inside the cover, this is nice. It's not velvet, but it's like a thick, kind of suede-y feeling material. And then inside, here we have the little baby brushes. The first time I unboxed this, because of course I had to check my order, I thought it was so strange that the items didn't come with a dust bag or some sort of scratch protector. I was immediately disappointed and ready to come on here and complain because I thought there is no way somebody's paying $250 for an eyeshadow palette or $160 for a lipstick and they don't have any sort of case or protection. But that makes sense. It's just wrapped separate. If you are planning to splurge on any of these items, the packaging is very heavy and weighted, but you can tell that it is absolutely going to scratch easily. You wouldn't be able to just throw the lipstick in your purse, or you wouldn't want to just throw it in your purse, throw it in a makeup bag. Same with the compact. You need to have something to hold on to it, some sort of protection here. So, sigh of relief. I'm very happy they included that. Let's start by unboxing the lipstick. This is the LV Rouge by Louis Vuitton. I knew I wanted a lipstick, not a balm. I knew I wanted satin finish, not matte. Of course, this launch comes with 55 different options. $160 for the case and refill. It has to be a shade that I could potentially get a lot of use out of. I'm hoping that I will just carry this in my purse, where for videos that I will truly use this lipstick. It looks like they have a beautiful range of reds. If you do prefer a traditional rouge, I don't blame you. But for me, I wanted to go with something that I would use on a regular basis. And I selected 102 Passport to Paris. It's a beautiful bullet. I love the black and gold. It looks very luxurious. It does feel weighted, but I will say it's not quite as heavy as some of the videos I've seen circulating socials made it seem. I was expecting this to feel like a rock in my hand. It's nice. It feels luxurious. It definitely doesn't feel like a hunk of plastic. It has brass, aluminum, other raw materials. I like that you have the window up top so you can see what shade is inside. Nothing on the bottom, and of course we know it is refillable, magnetic cap, and the refillable structure is pretty cool. So this immediately pops out. It tells you the shade and the information right there on the refill, and then when you look down at the bottom, it's the Louis Vuitton flower, which is the locking mechanism. As we previously discussed, the lipstick case, all of the packaging and components were designed by a very famous Berlin-based award-winning industrial designer. And if that holds value to you and has meaning, you will likely see this as more of a small piece of art, not just any other plastic lipstick that you can buy in the drugstore. The design element is absolutely baked into that $160 price point, and I think it adds a unique factor. I do think this looks like the perfect nude. I cannot wait to try this on. There are 8 different color stories to choose from with the eyeshadow palette. The case and refill together retails for $250, and I hope I don't disappoint anyone too much, but I chose the safest bet. This is $250 Nude Mirage, a neutral color story on the cooler side. Now this feels heavy. This is very weighty. You can tell it's much thicker. It's a bit chunkier than your typical luxury eyeshadow quad or quint. The matte black with the gold on the outside. I mean, this is truly stunning. It's beautiful to look at. One thing driving me crazy already, if you barely touch the gold, it shows your fingerprints and then it's really difficult to kind of buff it away. It is definitely giving mothership palette where you open it up, you feel the palette in your hands and it's like, wow, that is heavy. This feels and looks incredibly luxurious. This does have Pat McGrath written all over it. My thought process here was if I went with blues or even the palette with the maroon or the green, it would be easy to be blinded by the pop of color and feel like it's something so outside of my ordinary. I feel like it would be more difficult to judge, whereas these are colors that I basically use every single day. I have a very strong baseline to compare them to, so I feel like this will give me a better idea of if I actually like these eyeshadows. I really like the refill lock feature on the eyeshadow palette, so you have this little Louis Vuitton button here, and then, yeah, it goes down, not up, yeah. First I tried to press it in. No, you kind of have to press it down, and then do you see the little gold plate pops up, and that's how you're able to remove the eyeshadows. I think that is very cool. Just a little ooh and ah moment. It's a novelty. It's something sort of different and interesting about the palette. Each of the 4 eyeshadows comes out individually. Technically, I guess you could pick up a refill if you are a big spender. I think you would be able to take out the individual eyeshadows and maybe move them around and swap them out. And now it makes sense that the 2 brushes that come with each palette are in the pouch. I was thinking maybe it's so thick because the brushes are somewhere in the bottom, but that is not the case. You cannot remove this bottom part. I'm wearing a full face of Dior at the moment, so I'm going to film the demonstration tomorrow morning, but I am absolutely going to zoom in right now so you can get live swatches. I want you to see what these shadows look like as I'm dipping my finger in for the first time, and see how nicely they swatch on the arm. This Color Story Nude Mirage reminded me of Nude Dress by Dior, so I swatched them side by side so we could see the comparison. They're pretty close, especially the metallic shades, and of course arm swatches can only show so much, but even before applying these to the eye, just touching them with my fingers, they aren't super buttery or intense. I feel a little bit disappointed. Let's dive right into this demonstration so we can finally judge. I picked up a Rephr B03 brush and I am going into this side shade right here. It's a very pretty color, really beautiful, kind of satiny looking movie taupey brown. I am tapping that onto the outer corner, outer V area. Okay. Definitely more pigmented. Basically going to do my typical Erin Nicole soft glam eye look. I didn't have any doubts about this shade. I wasn't worried about this one. It's beautiful. And I do appreciate that even though it is a neutral color story, it's on the cooler side. So many palettes lean warm. The browns can turn sort of orangey on the eye, so I do like that it's cool toned. Picking up another fluffy brush, I'm just softening that up. No fallout with the application. It seems to be blending out really nicely. My premature judgment based solely on the feel of the eyeshadows, the texture, is that they're going to perform similar to Dior. I feel like these brands are going to be very comparable, which makes sense. Both are under the LVMH umbrella, and it's not a bad thing. I think Dior eyeshadows are probably some of the best performing out of any of the luxury brands, like the high luxury. You're going to get very nice performance, pretty safe color stories, decent payoff and blendability. I mean, I like my Dior eyeshadows, but would I say they are the best on the market? Picking up a flat shader brush, this is just a flat synthetic brush. It's actually an old Chanel concealer brush. I don't think they make this one anymore. It's the Concealer 10. This is an oldie goldie. I'm picking up the metallic shade. And this is going all over the lid. It's pretty. It's underwhelming. I have to be honest. It's what I expected. And it's very similar to the Dior shade. I mean, the shade itself, the texture, everything about this particular shade right here is similar. feels maybe sneakily identical to the metallic shade in the Dior Nude Dress palette. It's nice, and it's going to create a very beautiful look, but in my mind, I cannot help but compare this with my Natasha Denona little trio that I use on a regular basis that I get tons of compliments that I always go back to because it's so good, because it's so easy to use. The pigment is there, the application is fine, there's no fallout. It's hard to complain about this style of eyeshadow because it's not bad. I think if you buy this palette, you're probably going to like it, enjoy it. I'm going to keep using it. Not bad whatsoever. It's not going to blow your mind. It's not like a wow, that is such a dazzling, beautiful, buttery, intense metallic shade. It gives such a beautiful pop of shimmer. No, in fact, these shimmers, they almost look a little bit kind of grainy on the lid. Like it emphasizes the texture a little bit. It doesn't look super buttery and smooth. It gets the job done, but it is nowhere close to the quality and intensity of the Pat McGrath Labs Mothership palettes, in my opinion. Now I'm picking up a very small pencil brush. This is a Refer 03. I'm dipping into this really deep matte brown down here, and I am very strategically going to line the lash line. I'm kind of starting in the center. I really want to emphasize the outer lash line with this deep eyeshadow. I'm going over it a few times because I really want to pack that on. For the lower lash line, I'm picking up the original medium intensity brown, and I'm going to buff this beneath the lower lash line. No fallout so far using these eyeshadows, so that's really nice. With a clean brush, I am picking up this ivory shade up here. It has a slight sheen to it, and I am going to just dust this lightly beneath the brow bone. I feel like this is a nice highlight shade. And I'm popping that ivory on the inner corner of the eye as well. It's very soft, which I expected after the swatch barely appeared on my arm, and I did try to build it up a little bit. It doesn't give a ton of highlight. I mean, you can see it a little bit. It adds a little brightness, but this is definitely not the intense highlight that I would want. For the brow bone, I think it's fine, and in a different look, if I were to apply that shade to the lid, it might be fine. But as a highlight, it's just sort of mediocre. The best shadow in the entire pan is probably this deep chocolate brown. This is really nice to work with. The metallic shade is so-so. It's pretty, it does what it needs to do, but it's not like this amazing, wow, I'm so glad I bought this eyeshadow palette type of metallic. And the pearl shade, I mean, very standard, very meh. I don't think anybody gets overly excited about that throwaway pearl shadow that comes in so many palettes. Doing the same exact look on the other side. Originally, I'd overnighted my package, but there was a mistake on the delivery address, so I wasn't sure if I was going to receive it. I had to call UPS, call Louis Vuitton, and they were able to make it right, so I received my package really late last Thursday. I immediately took photos and filmed the unboxing. The problem was the very next morning I was waking up bright and early to drive to Savannah on a girls' trip, and unfortunately I just did not have the time to finish this review before I left. I even brought my Louis Vuitton makeup to Savannah in hopes that I would find time in the hotel room to finish it, but it just did not work out that way. I needed to be present with my friends on the trip and enjoy our Labor Day weekend. I know it must seem like Natasha Denona herself is sitting in the corner of the room with a weapon pointed at my head, and that's why I keep raving about her eyeshadow. But that has just become the standard. That is the bar for me. That might not be the bar for you. You might have a different brand or a different palette that you absolutely love, but we all have our go-to palette. What are the eyeshadows that you use because they're consistent? You know they look great. You know they last a long time. You know they're easy to blend. Whatever that palette is for you, that sort of becomes your bar, and anything that you're going to add to your collection after that has to be as good, if not better. Otherwise, you're never going to reach for it. So it's not about other brands. It's about what other options do you already own. Going back with my flat concealer brush, picking up that metallic shade. And see, this is the real, I don't want to call it a deal breaker. That sounds harsh. It's not bad. It's pretty makeup. Most all of the new makeup that's released in 2025 is decent, is good makeup. It's not that it's bad, it's not that it's ugly, it's not that you're going to struggle with these eyeshadows. The compact is gorgeous, but this metallic is so meh. It is so underwhelming. The Pat McGrath Labs beauty customer wants artistry, creativity, imagination. They want editorial sparkle, they want full glam. But maybe the typical luxury beauty consumer is just used to that sort of dusty, crusty little touch of eyeshadow, nothing too extreme. And so they went sort of middle of the road. Going up top into our ivory shade, it is barely there. This eyeshadow is so soft. This will be a one and done for me. I feel like I tried it. I like it. I'm sure once I finish the eye look, it's going to be nice. Don't love it. Wouldn't recommend rushing out to purchase. It's a novelty. If you're a collector, I totally get it. If you're a Louis Vuitton lover, I totally get it. If you just love luxury beauty, but you're more interested in quality, not packaging, but quality of the shadows, ease of use, you like buttery textures, you like intense pigments, you like metallics that actually shine on the lid, you can skip this entire range. It would be hard to mess up a creamy nude lipstick. I have nothing on my lips right now, no lip liner. I want to go in with the lipstick first, just to feel the texture. It's nice. It's very pretty. The smell is nice. This smells like luxury lipstick. You know, it has that light scent, like a Lancome or Estee Lauder lipstick. It just sort of smells like traditional lipstick. And I do not say that in a bad way. It's pretty. It's a nice formula. I don't feel like it's super, super intensely pigmented. This almost feels like it's sitting right on top of the lip. I'm very happy with Passport to Paris, but we might as well open up this sample. It has a little lip brush, which is so perfect. So I'm gonna try these next. Next, I'm applying 207 Sensual Wave with the matte finish. Ooh, very different, something that I would never choose for myself. And I actually feel like on camera, it's hard to tell. I am going blind, and especially with the lights can be very blinding. I'll be curious to watch this back to see how this translates on camera. In person, it looks like a true cool-toned berry. Next, let's try 105 Nude Necessaire. This is the type of shade that I would actually get use out of on a regular basis, unlike the berry, even though I do think it's interesting. Very pretty. Next, we're trying 109 The Great Escape with a matte finish. And I don't know why, but in the sample card, it actually looks more brown, but on my lips it's more of a pinky brown. This is honestly giving me that 90s lip that everyone was obsessed with a few years ago. The fourth and final sample I think I'm most excited for. Not only is it a satin finish, it's 896 Monogram Rouge. I feel like this must be one of their classic reds. Ooh, she's deep. Very beautiful, very chic. This is probably not the go-to red of the house, I would imagine, considering how dark this is. But it's beautiful. It's more of a deep kind of wine Bordeaux, if you will. I kind of love it. I don't feel like I'm looking at myself right now with this bold lip, but it's starting to grow on me. My overall thoughts and impressions of Louis Vuitton Beauty, it is exactly what I expected it to be. Gorgeous, luxurious, high quality packaging, but nothing all that groundbreaking or out of the ordinary in terms of formulas and textures. Solid launch, but very much on par with all of the other luxury brands that currently exist. For me, this is no different than any other luxury product, not just luxury beauty, but any luxury in general. It launched, it exists, it's there. For people with the means and desire, you have the option to purchase. There are plenty of people with the means and no desire. I had so many comments from people saying that they love luxury beauty. They can afford to buy these products, they simply don't want to, and that is your prerogative. We are all free-thinking adults with agency. We get to make up our own mind about these things, decide what we like, what we don't like. There clearly is a market for it since so many of the products sold out immediately. I read an article a few weeks back that was talking about the Louis Vuitton Beauty launch, and it discussed how while the luxury market in general is seeing decline, the ultra luxury market is seeing a lot of growth. So clearly Louis Vuitton was trying to tap into that ultra luxury market. I don't know what they were thinking or how they came to these particular price points. As somebody who used to work at a luxury beauty counter, I will say this is a great upsell. The people who are the most excited about Louis Vuitton Beauty, besides Louis Vuitton loyalists, their cult following, are probably the sales associates. Could you imagine walking in to buy a $4,000 makeup train case and the associate says, "Hey, why don't you add on a $160 lipstick or this $250 eyeshadow palette to your giant makeup bag?" $160, $250 doesn't seem like as much money when you're already planning to drop $4,000 on a bag. So I think for those people, for the sales associates, this is going to be an easy add-on. Long term, I think it will be up to the Louis Vuitton client who's constantly looking out for their new launches that will breathe life into the brand and keep it sustained. I think eventually we will see all of the buzz and conversation sort of die out. Now that it launched, it's here. I don't think we're going to see a ton of excitement or buzz surrounding every single future launch that they come out with. For someone who loves luxury beauty and has it all, I think something like a Louis Vuitton lipstick would make a beautiful anniversary gift, birthday gift. I think those one-off, novel, unique occasions, this will be a great item. For the casual luxury beauty consumer, I can confidently tell you, you are not missing out anything revolutionary. No regrets. I think I did a pretty good job selecting the best shade in each category, considering I didn't have a chance to see anything in person. If I were to do it all again or make recommendations to somebody else who's sort of considering picking up anything from this collection, if not now, maybe in the future, I think the best thing they have is the lipstick. I think you have a better chance of not being disappointed going for the lipstick because it's a lipstick. As cool and interesting as the eyeshadow compact is, I would skip the eyeshadows. They're not bad, they're not terrible, but they're very so-so, kind of mediocre. You're better off just springing for a Dior eyeshadow palette. Save the money. And that completes my review of Louis Vuitton Beauty. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and you liked hearing my thoughts on this collection. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. Make sure you sound off down below in the comments section. We'll keep the conversation going there. As always, I will be linking everything else on my face will be tagged directly to the video and listed down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.